thus accepting our fate, the party contest, thus accepting our fate that we had to continue to build coalitions in 2006, in 2011, in 2000 party contest. Thus accepting our fate that we had to continue to build coalitions in 2006, in 2011, in 2016 to effect regime change so that the people would become liberated and then decide who should manage their affairs. We announced at the Congress that we have achieved that goal. So even if we were to die, at least if I am to die today, I believe that my generation has achieved its goal. First generation, the sovereignty of the Republic, eradication of colonialism, and asserting the right to self-determination and independence. Second generation, the sovereignty of the people, to make sure that the people know that power belongs to them. We achieved that on the 2nd of December 2016. Now, Gambia is in your hands. Whatever you want of it is in your hands. Whatever it becomes is in your hands. That's what we told the country. So essentially, we had Congress resolutions. And I'll be concluding in that regard. That we, as a Congress, see the essence of sovereignty, and that cooperative sovereignty that is essential to build a new Gambia. We therefore resolve that the new start that Gambia is waiting for is the sovereignty of each Gambian being asserted and accepted. A new Gambian must be born. The transition should have created the new Gambian, but the transition is divided. Some want to maintain the old Gambia, some would want a new Gambia.
Some people want to maintain the new Gambia, some people want the new Gambia and the others want the old Gambia. This is what Halifa has said. We have finally achieved the regime change that we all fight and fought and put our resources together to make sure that we have a regime change. But after the regime change, we have seen another dimension in our politics. Other people decided, to put party interest instead of the national interest, or the interest that bring us together to have this regime change because of their personal selfishness and other things. But that is not the essence why today I am live. Today I decided to come Facebook Live, and I will be speaking in our local language for the benefit of most of the people to understand. I will be mixing both Mandinka and Olaf together because I want my message to reach at the last corner of every Gambian to hear what I'm gonna say. So for that being the case, I will be speaking in our local language. Wow. Mine if you send Bokala Kexx Sanneh jegna ñew Facebook for quite a long time. I don't go Facebook Live. But the the trend that is going on jarna pour legi ma ñew to clear some of the issues lo xamne mu ngi dem on Facebook. Te lolu it started way back. We have been silenced for a quite long time because Kuham PDOIS, our politics is not a politics of personality or politics of criticizing or insulting leaders, but our politics is very clean. We believe in a clean politics. We never go into the way, the trend that they have chosen to be people that will be caricaturing leaders that have contributed immensely to liberate this country, people who have sacrificed their lives, sacrificed their resources. They could have been millionaires in this country, but decided to put all that aside, put to see that the Gambia, liberate. So for that being the case, we will not allow nobody from nowhere who lacks a home training, who are not been brought up by the family background that we have, to come on Facebook, because they have the opportunity to have the Facebook platform, and they start, insulting our leaders, giving them all sorts of names. For us, we will never allow that. We have been patient for a quite long time. We have been silenced for a quite long time, but it's enough is enough. And for that being the case, we have decided now we will definitely speak up. First of all, for my start, Monica, the issue of the press conference, for Fulako start, because Lulmo, the whole issue of the press conference. On Tuesday, PDOIS then held a press conference at the political bureau, Mohammed Monica PDOIS political bureau, Buneka Churchilltown. And the whole idea of PDOIS is, the way forward for a regime, for a system change. Since we have achieved the regime change, that will go along with some of the reforms that are necessary, that the opposition parties were fighting for ever since they were in the opposition parties. We could remember the electoral reform that claimed the life of Solo Sanding. We could talk about the age limit that the politicians were saying Jammeh use it against them, so that he can bar them from standing as an candidate. And so many issues, the institutional reform, because we feel like our institution has failed over the years. They have been used as a tool, to dance to the tune of the incumbent. And we say we must reform all those things. That were the agendas of the coalition. There are 4 key important things that are the targets of the coalition. And we all come together as a party. We put all our difference aside. We said for only 3 years, let's put our party aside and concentrate on the coalition and build a new Gambia. All right, sorry, let me just put my phone on silence. Yeah, thank you. All right, we said for at least for three years only, to put our parties aside and concentrate on building the new Gambia that we have been yearning for 22 years or 54 years, at least to build a Gambia where we can all be proud of. This was the whole agenda of the coalition. This is what we plan for. But it doesn't, people has another agenda different from the agenda that the coalition put aside. And others claim that their political parties will die if they go with the agenda of the coalition. But we have seen political parties here that have sacrificed, to forget about their party for almost 15 good years. They are not talking on their party's platform, but rather they are trying to unify the nation, and still now their party is still in existence. PPP and the other parties has been banned here after the coming of Yaya Jammeh, but that doesn't make them for their party to die. So we say, let's put our party aside and concentrate on building a new Gambia that we have been yearning for 54 years. But these people has another different agenda. Where did they start it at first? They went and manipulate Barrow and say, Barrow, don't adhere to the coalition MOU, because if you adhere to this MOU, it will just make you like a toothless bull. You will not have any power to decide on anything. And the change of the coalition was never to show a might of any other political party, to show that this party is more powerful than any other political party. But we say we are going to give power back to the Gambian people. That is the whole objective of the coalition. But if you see people who are selfless, who are selfish, they have no other interest, but they have only their personal interest. This is the only thing that surfaces all the time. And we could have seen it as we are going on, we can see the personal interest has been emerged, from their, political parties, because they have no other interest but only the interest of their political party. So they have destroyed the whole coalition. The whole agenda of the coalition, the whole architecture, whatever we have planned, because they think that they could have micromanaged Barrow, they could have controlled Barrow. But they fail to understand that Barrow too has an ambition to sit at the same seat that they are yearning for. So there was a conflict of interest. As time goes on, they made to understand that we cannot use this man as a tool. So they never succeeded. So now they said, why? The fight all started because they know exactly that the role that PDOIS has played in the coalition has given the Gambian people that what PDOIS has been preaching 30 good years, on the whole they can deliver. Because we have seen the leadership quality in PDOIS when Gambia need them at most. That was during the difficult moment. We were able to convey the convention and call on all political parties to come and join so that we can liberate this country. And our tactics works. That give us the coalition that we have. And no political party was forced to join the coalition. And we could have seen that UDP was never ready to join the coalition at the initial stage. Because after they selected their flag bearer, they toured the whole country with Adama Barrow. Countrywide, they tested their power. But they failed to understand that we, the PDYs, have done our homework prior to even calling for the convention. Because we have told the whole country in 2015 to inform the whole Gambian that our target is to build a coalition. And any political party that fail to join the coalition, if he comes to seek for your vote, tell the person to go back to the convention at Kairaba. If not, you will not vote for him. So when they test their power and they realize that this will not work, that's why they came to the convention at Kairaba to join the coalition talk. But when they first came, what did they say? They said they just come to listen to the whole idea of the coalition. They are not actually there to join as a political party. So far, they are monitoring the situation. And we are in records. You can go to the records of people that have been at the convention. You will hear this. They have been there as spectators. But they made to understand that definitely this will never actually achieve unless we join this Canadian calls by the Gambian people. We will never succeed. They decided to come. But look at the game that they play. We went to the coalition. We went to the convention. We said if political parties know that they are not going to contest as a presidential candidate, let them withdraw totally. But no, they manipulated my party. They said my party now use our UDP candidates and register them as your party militants. And during the convention, they will vote for Adama Barrow. The same thing they did to Henry Gomez. The same thing they did to my party. And the same thing they did to NCP. That's why you find out that NCP came with 70 delegates, but you find out that only 30 delegates vote for NCP as a political party. All the 40 are UDP militant registered under UDP. So they decided to manipulate the whole convention, which gives us a candidate that is not actually qualified to even be there. But we are not actually interested. We know that since that time there was a found play. But PDOI's interest was not to lead, but to achieve the regime change that the Gambian people has called for. So we have seen the found play, but we were not interested, and we didn't question it, because we believe that change will effect come December. So we were not interested in showing the might of PDOIs or whether PDOIs lead or not. We make sure that we go by the demand of the Gambian people that they want change and they want it this year. That's 2016. So in respective of whether PDOI's candidate was selected or not, we were not interested. But what we are interested is to see that the change is effect. And at that time, if PDOIs start questioning or start questioning to some of the issues, they will say, okay, you see, they have destroyed the coalition. They have destroyed the coalition. So we said, no, we are not. And even with the militants who were there, we have shown the found play. And I could remember Fadou Sise approaching Halifa Sallah to tell him that there's a found play going on. And he said, let us keep quiet. For them, they are not interested whatever. What they want is the change. And they don't care whoever is selected. That is a political party that thinks of the country, not the party itself. And fast forward, we move from there. We said, now let us come together and build this coalition. We go together. We say by doing that, let us put our parties aside. Let's concentrate on building the coalition. You all diverted from the whole intention of the coalition, how to constitute its cabinet. Everybody rose and said, Barrow, I want to be this, I want to be this. Rather, the agenda of the coalition is there will be a committee called Good Governance Committee that will be selecting the candidate. Adama Barrow will just come with a proposal of any candidate, any person he feel like. And that name will be submitted to the committee. And that very committee will now look at the criteria, will look at the CV of that individual, look at everything that is, has to be, that is required for the person to be qualified to serve as a minister. But they definitely know that they are not ready for the competent people, but they are just ready to satisfy people based on their political affiliation, not the interest of the country. They know that if that criteria was used, people who have handled those ministers' positions will not have been qualified to handle those positions. So they decided to go in. Adama Barrow will just call you and said, Mr. X, I give you a Minister of Foreign Affairs, and you go home and celebrate with your family, and you are happy. And you fail to thank the coalition that have given you that position. For 22 years, you have been establishing in this country. You could not even have been a National Assembly member in this country. Thanks to the coalition, you happen to be a foreign minister, to the extent of being a vice president. You don't thank the coalition that have given you that. But you rather be an enemy to that very coalition that have given you the opportunity for the whole world to hear your name. You have been struggling for 22 years. You cannot even be a National Assembly member. Talk like a Alcalo, neither a Sefo. But thanks to the coalition, you were able to be a Minister of Foreign Affairs. Moving from there, you were able to be a Vice President in this country. You don't thank the coalition. But rather, unfortunately, you have been dishonest to the coalition. Been selfish to yourself. But people, we the people of PDOIs, we have respect for all political parties. And we decided not to talk about such issues. Because what we want is the change, and we have achieved that change. We decided not to talk about those issues. But not that we cannot, not that we are not rude. We can rudeness is not something that you can buy from the shop. It's just something that everybody can do it. But we have respect for leaders. That's why you never hear us insulting or caricaturing these political leaders, because we have respect for them. At least they have sacrificed their time to liberate this country. But their shameless supporters will be on Facebook every day and night, insulting Halifa Sallah, insulting Sidi Ajada, insulting OJ Jallo, insulting Mai Fati, insulting every other leader who have sacrificed their life to liberate this country. Do you think we cannot do it? We can wear the clothes that you are wearing. But we feel that it is not necessary because it doesn't worth it. But they will be on Facebook. Every single word that Halifa said, they will just jump up and take it. And other people will pretend that they have a joking relationship with PDOIs. They will be making Facebook posts pretending that they are joking when they are the worst enemy of Halifa. They hate Halifa to the last dot of their blood. They hate Halifa. But they will pretend that they have a joking relationship with PDOIs. They will be posting on their Facebook, pretending that they are making jokes. When actually, in the sense, they are not making jokes. It's well-calculated posts that they are doing because of they hate Halifa. They hate Halifa very well. They don't want to see Halifa. It's the only person they hate. And Halifa has no hard feeling for UDP. I could remember when UDP executives, some of their members were custody, they were prosecuted by Jammeh and they were at the mile to prison. Dembo's wife was sat for almost 1 year. They didn't visit those people. And he went to visit those people to show them that still now, the UDP still remember them. But because of the time factor, they could not come and sympathize with them for their loved ones being jailed by Yaya Jammeh. Precisely, it was around Gunjur, I could remember. Dembo by force is hearing me, and he know what I'm saying. He was chased away. They said these people have been kept in Mile 2 for how many years? You people refused to come and visit it until after 2 years. Dembo came and communicated this to Halifa Sallah. By then they were having this GOFA, the Gambia opposition parties. And they used Halifa Sallah said, okay, I will make sure that I handle this thing. So if Halifa Sallah was an enemy to UDP, he will not have led that delegation. He said, Dembo by force, okay, we will go there. And when he reached, the same thing that those people said, they said, Dembo, you have to go. We don't want to see you people because our people have been jailed by Yaya Jammeh here. And you refuse to come and visit them until after 1 year plus. Today you are coming to say that you are coming to sympathize with us. We don't want to see you. Halifa said, no. We cannot come like, they cannot come like that. This is not only Dembo by force, or this is not only about UDP. This is about the Gambia. I don't want, you go and investigate, you know, don't ask me who are they, because I will not tell you. When you actually know it and you are asking me still. Go and ask Dembo by force, I name his name. He is still alive, go and ask him. That's why I mentioned his name. So he made that. Khalifa went down with those people and he said, we cannot come. They cannot come as a political party. This is beyond UDP. This is about the Gambia. And we have come as opposition parties of the Gambia. Because when such scenarios, when such incidents happen, you cannot just jump and come. So we decided to speak within ourselves, discuss the whole matter, how we will handle the whole matter. And we were trying to discuss with the state to see whether there will be another means. That's why they could not come. You see how he was back in UDP. Dembo by forces arrived. And he was able to convince those people. And they say now they have understand. And if Khalifa Sallah was an enemy to UDP, he could have used that advantage. And when they are on his own capacity or do whatever he want to do and do whatever he feel like doing, so that he can favor and win the hearts and the minds of those people so that they can be belong to PDOIS as a political party. But this is not Khalifa Sallah. He wanted people to vote or support him based on your own conviction that you are convinced with our policies and programs. Not in other way around. But for them, they can do whatever they feel like doing just to gain the support. Whether it's illegal or illegal, they don't care. Moving forward, the day Dabo was being released from the jail, after the negotiation, Khalifa talked to Bala Jahumba. And they spoke to Yaya Jammeh for them to release the political prisoners. This was not something. The proposal first came from Khalifa Sallah. He said, Bala, I have one thing that I want you to help me. And I think you are very close to Khalifa Sallah. And Bala Jahumba is on Facebook. Action man, you can ask him. He said, what I want is for Jammeh to release the political prisoners. If he definitely accept that he accepted the results of the election and is ready for a peaceful transfer of power, we want him to release the political. The proposal came from Khalifa Sallah first. So if people are saying that it's the coalition that free these political prisoners, those people were never thinking of that direction. It was the proposal from Khalifa Sallah that those political prisoners must be free. And Bala said, okay, I will try. And he called Yaya Jammeh and convinced him. Jammeh said, okay, tomorrow I will make sure that after you hang the phone, I will call the Makati prison and I will talk to the Chief Justice so that tomorrow they can go to the court and they will pardon them. That was the whole arrangement. And Khalifa Sallah left his house since 9 a.m. in the morning. He was at the courthouse waiting for these people to be transported from Janjambure and the ones that are in Mile 2 because they don't want to release others, while others are still in prison. So they say they have to wait until all those who are in Mile 2 to be transported to Banjul, and they do everything together. This was what they did. He was there 9 a.m. up to 6 p.m. in the afternoon, trying to make sure that these people are free. What happens? Dembo by force told lawyer Dabo that when you reach home, I know today you will be very tired. But when you reach home, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, please take your phone and call Khalifa Sallah and thank him. Or if it is necessary, you go and even visit him. You see how pompous he is. He said over his dead body, will he pick a phone? Neither to go to move from his house to go and thank Khalifa Sallah. Dembo by force is still alive. You can go and ask him. I'm not proposing somebody who is not alive. Dembo by force is still alive. Go and ask him. We are not talking about that. We can wear the clothes that you are wearing. We can be rude on Facebook. We can be insulting. But that's not the way we want it. We believe in decent politics. We can be baseless criticizing your leaders. We can say whatever we want to say about your leaders. But we see that that is not politics. Politics is about policies and program. That's why Khalifa Sallah has challenged all the political leaders that whoever is convinced that you have better policy than PDOIS, let's go to the national TV and debate based on policies and programs to convince the Gambian people that you have the better policy or we have the better policies. The 21st century, the battle of the 21st century is the battle of knowledge, is the battle of idea, is the battle of programs. It's not a battle of character assassination. The battle of 21st century is the battle of policies and programs. It's the battle of ideas. It's not the battle of character assassination. And I want Gambian people to understand that. People are pretending that they have a joking relationship with PDOIs. They are posting every day. They do it intentionally to discredit PDOIs. They are not doing it because they have a joking relationship. They want to destroy PDOIs, but they will never succeed because we will never give them that room. Deep in their hearts, they know that PDOI is better than their political parties. But because of ego, because of hate, they will never adhere because they don't have the interest of the country, but they have the interest of a political party. I made it very clear. Any day I see a political party emerge in this country who has better policy than PDOIS, know that Kexx Sanneh is leaving PDOIS that very day because I want to see the Gambia. But that is not the case in their camp. That is not their case. They will be pretending that they have a joking relationship with us. They don't have any joking relationship. They are doing it well calculated to discredit PDOIS. We know it. We have been just joking with you people. But it is over. It will never be the same. We are ready. You go down, you go low, we go low. And we see. You have tried all efforts to make Dabo a president. We know everything. We know even the bad deed that you did in our political bureau. And one of your members came and give this information to our party leaders that UDP came one very night, late in the night, and decided to bury a juju in our political bureau, believing that they said they don't want Halifa Sallah to be a political leader, a presidential candidate in this country. One of your members came up to the political bureau. But you see how our political leaders have been honest and how they love, how they don't believe in this marabou things and other things. He told them that we don't believe in that. If God wills, we are not here to impose ourselves in the Gambian people. And we don't believe in all those things. If they bury anything, that's their business. We don't believe in what you are saying and we are not interested to investigate. That is PDOIs for you. And I have had revelation from other people saying that you went to Birkama and the other place doing that. The day I heard that, I was convinced on the whole this was a truth. This was truth. But our leaders told the person that we don't believe in it. We are not interested. Let them do whatever they feel like doing. It is left to the Gambian people to decide. All these things have been done. We keep quiet about it because we are not those. We believe in policies. We don't believe in all those issues. But you people will just jump up, do every other things. Halifa has a press conference on Tuesday. Actually, I'm inside a car. I'm right here in Basse. I just had an emergency and I have to drive to Basse. So right now I'm in Basse. And, I have no other place because I just come to run an errand here on behalf of the party. So, I'm just inside a car here, trying to do the Facebook Live, and I have to close all the windows, That's why I'm getting sweat very seriously. I have to close the whole window, so that the noise will not disturb you. So this is the whole issue, what I'm trying to. Yes, on Tuesday we have a press conference. And in the press conference, Halifa mentioned so many important things, ranging from how they will liberate this country, and what were the policies of PDOIS to eradicate poverty for 54 years in this country. And they have bring reference that if it is PDOIS government, what are their policies on agriculture? What is their policies on fishery? What is their policies on economic? What is their policies on politically, socially, and other things? They have made it very clear. They made it very clear. Ranging from there, they said the way forward of the Gambia. They explained deeply what they mean about system change. And they give reference to the struggle of PDOIS. And they made mention of ANC in South Africa, how long it takes them in the liberation movement. But you see dishonest people, out of all what was mentioned by Khalifa, you see key important things that is for the liberation of this country. But they fail to pick those things and thanks PDOIs for coming with a better policy, or PDOIs coming with a policy that will liberate this country, or they have come and say that this is what they can offer to the Gambian people. Instead of they pick those parts, no, they decide to be so petty. They say, yeah, Khalifa Sallah was comparing NCP and PDOIs. Where did you see the comparison? Khalifa never did that. What Khalifa said was an example that it took NCP for 82 years. Then if it takes PDOIs for 33 years, and people are saying that PDOIs leadership should resign from politics. But if you choose to listen to somebody, to respond rather than listen to the person, to comprehend what the person is saying, that is always what happens. You go with false narrative. But it's not actually, but it was a well-calculated move because they hate Khalifa Sallah. I will make it very clear to you. Those people who are writing those posts, they hate Khalifa Sallah, pretending that they have a joking relationship with PDOIs. They don't have any joking relationship with PDOIs. They hate Khalifa down into their hearts. We just pretend with them. We laugh with them because we believe that Gambia belongs to each and every one of us, and politics should not divide us. That's why we have gone down and leave them to say whatever they feel like saying against PDOIs. But not that we cannot be rude like they are. We can be. Nobody pay our internet bills. We pay it for ourselves. We have the same facility that you have to go and sit behind the keyboards and write nonsense. We can do it. But it doesn't worth it. It will not liberate this country. It will not move this country forward. That's why we refuse to go down to your level. But not that we cannot do it. We can do more than what you can do. We can sit the whole day and caricature your leaders because they have 1,000 things that they have done we can use against him. But we don't believe in that. We believe in policies. Let's debate on policies and program. Take it as yours, but I don't care. I don't care whether you take it as yours. I don't care. If you feel that what I'm saying, is directed to you, then so be. Then that is your habit. Then that's what you are doing. I care less. I care less. I made it generally, and if you feel that it suits you, then take it. Take it. But it is enough. That's what I'm saying. It is enough. We are tired. We have been patient. We see everything that you people are doing. But we don't believe in those type of politics. You will pretend that you like Khalifa. You never like Khalifa. You hate Khalifa. You hate him more than anybody in this country. You hate Khalifa. That's left to you. But what I'm telling you that now we'll go down to your level. Let's see. We can do it. Khalifa will say A, you turn it to B. Khalifa will say C. That is dishonesty. That is not politics. If you criticize Khalifa based on facts, we will understand. But you criticize Khalifa baselessly because of your hate against the man. You know that if he is allowed for the Gambian people to hear what he's saying, everybody will be convinced to vote for PDOIS. Because we have the policies to liberate this country. So you choose the other way around to mislead your fellow people who are following you on Facebook. That's dishonesty. That is not love for country. That's what I'm buttressing. So it's left to you to see whatever you feel like. You never see me. I've been with you for friends for quite a long time. Have you ever seen me even calling Dabo names? I don't. I have respect for him. But no. Why can't you do that? Let's debate on facts. So Khalifa made this press conference. Instead of you people pick the best You started to be so petty. Khalifa made it very clear. But you have been seeing what your leader has done. Why can't you criticize him? Come out and denounce his statements that he divided the coalition. That is the fact. This is the fact. Do that. That is honesty in politics. Even your leader is wrong against the person, tell him that this is wrong. Dabo claimed that he will sue the Gambian people to court if anybody questions the 5 years. Now the 3 years judge people are questioning the 5 years. Why he is waiting? Let them sue them to court. Let them go to court. Oh, the 3 years judge are his movement. That's why? Let him take them to court. Okay, I understand they are his people. Because he used people to speak on his behalf. That's why I'm proud of PDOIs. Our leaders speak for themselves. They don't use people to speak for them. When we feel that something is wrong, we come out and say it. But we don't use people to speak for us or act on behalf of us. That's not PDOIs. That will come here and say that this coalition people agree on the 3 years. And the 3 years is unconstitutional. He claimed that he was a constitutional lawyer. A constitutional lawyer who cannot interpret the constitution and understand that Section 65 has provided for the resignation of a president. And you claim to be a constitutional lawyer when you could not even understand where did the coalition members rely on, which section of the coalition, the members of the coalition rely on to come with the agreement of the 3 years. And you claim that you are a constitutional expert. But you claim that something is unconstitutional, when actually the Constitution has provided for the resignation of the president. It is there. It was in the 1970 Constitution. And in the 1997 Constitution, it was there. It was Jammeh in 2002. He decided to amend that section. So the whole idea of the coalition is to come with a bill to the National Assembly to amend that section of the Constitution. Because presently, if Barrow has to resign, the Vice President will continue the rest of the term. The coalition members rely on Section 65 of the Constitution to come with this agreement. Since the agenda of the coalition is a constitutional review, institutional review, like what they did to the age limit. The age limit was never in the Constitution. It was amended by Jammeh. But now anybody can stand. There's no upper age for the presidency. Anybody can stand as a presidential candidate. The same procedure used to amend that section. The coalition people rely on that very procedure to make sure that we have the resignation of the president. So what is unconstitutional there? But if you claim to know everything, when actually you don't know, this is what happens. Now it's been exposed. So for us, we are ready to face with you anyhow you like it. Things will never be the same. We have sacrificed the coalition. We sacrificed PDOIs for 15 good years to liberate this country. That is why from 2001 up to 2016, PDOIs never contest on PDOIs ticket. It's either trying to build a coalition from NATO United Front, from United Front to Coalition 2016. And finally we achieve it. We abandoned our party, which left us with indebtedness. We use the resource of the party to make sure that we liberate this country. The NAD, still now, we campaign for Kexx Jammeh at Jara. PDOIs has to pay the deposit. PDOIs has to use their political bureau to use their vehicles for NAD, United Front, Coalition 2016. You know how much we contributed just to liberate this country. And you have nothing to offer. Nothing to say thanks to these people. Rather, you prefer Still now. The same hypocrisy, dishonesty. We have nothing to give these people, but rather to thank these people who have liberated this country for 54 years. You Gambian people demand for a regime change, and you have a regime change. Political parties were here with their programs and their policies for how many years? They offer their programs to you people, for the Gambian people to vote. We refuse to vote for them until we were left with no choice. But we only rely on to have a regime change. We want Jammeh to go no matter who came in. And you demand for it, we sacrifice and give you the regime change that you demand for. Because during our campaign, we had people who were saying, even we have a dog, it's okay for us. Then you demand for a person to remove, for Jammeh to move. And you don't care whoever comes in. And we give you that. What more will you demand for? When PDOS has been existing since 1986, they give you policies and programs that can liberate you. But you deliberately refuse to vote for them with a system change government. Until we were left with no other option but to go in for a regime change. And you demand for a regime change, we sacrifice and give you a regime change. And we said the next phase is a system change. And we had a press conference and made that clear to the Gambian people what system change means. What is our policy to liberate this country? How to eradicate poverty? How to make education free and accessible to the people? How to make health free and accessible to the people? Because that's the language of our constitution. Basic education must be free and accessible. And any government that tells you that that's not possible, that government is not fit to be governed. PDO has the policy to make education free and accessible to the Gambian people. And we are ready to produce our own books, not to rely on somebody's book to educate our children. This is why our education has been going down every day and night. Because we rely on somebody's knowledge to teach our people rather than we rely on our own books. How many people have graduated in this country that could have been used to contribute their quota to the national development? But you don't have the policy for it. That's why PDOS will always come plainly. The only party that will say or publish their manifesto or their policy for the whole world to see. But you cannot implement it because the vision is with us. So even if you have it on you, you don't have the vision, you cannot implement it because you don't know the technical know-how. That is why the coalition is still failing. Because they have the vision is with PDOIS. They just have the document. And when you people succeeded to kick PDOIS out of there, you could not move because we have the vision. So they just have the document before them. But they don't know how to implement it because the vision is with us. So you will only have the document just for the document's sake. But you can't implement it. The same thing for our programs and policies. For 30-something years, we have been populating our programs. But you can't do it because the knowledge is not there. And unless we accept that this is the only thing that can liberate this country, we will still live in poverty for 54 years. I will be in my grave. I don't know when. But we will meet again, and you will say that what you have told us. Unless we put our ego aside and know what is better for our country and put the party, we put our parties aside and make sure that we have a better Gambia. And the only opportunity we have is this coalition 2016. Because next government that will come will emerge from a political party. And that political party will come with its own way, whether it favors the Gambian people or not, they don't care. But this coalition, we said, non-partisan coalition. Let us all come together for the period of 3 years and build the Gambia together so that the citizens will be aware We will not have politics of assassination. The tribal difference will go. One Gambia, one people, one nation will be the clarion call. We will see each other as a brother, as a sister. Together, collectively, we build a nation, rather than seeing each other as enemies based on our political parties. This was the whole idea of the coalition. For 3 years, you decided to put your party interests and destroy the well-organized, documented coalition agreement. You refused to adhere to MOU. The MOU document was given to Dabo 3 good days. When they first called the meeting, Dabo said that he didn't adhere to the document, he was not going to sign it. They said, let us give him the chance. Maybe he didn't understand this document. But when we give him the chance, he will understand. They give the document to him, and they give him 3 days to study this document. And any honest Gambian who read that manifesto will know that there is nothing in that manifesto that is against the will and the way forward of this country. But this man decided not to. And the 3rd day they meet at Kairaba, sitting and waiting for Dabo to come to tell us what he made of after going through the document. He came back. He refused to come. They sat and they didn't see him. They call he's not picking. One of the coalition members who claimed to... Sorry, please, stop calling me. I'm busy. One of the coalition members who claimed to be his friend told the coalition members, wait, let me go to his house. I'll make sure that I bring him. They went to his house. He said, my stand is still that I didn't buy this manifesto and I'm not going to sign it. And I will advise Barrow not to sign it. Barrow is hearing me. Those that are at that were at that table are all hearing me. Let them come. If I say anything that is not true, I'm ready to face for the person to sue me to court. And I'll be ready to defend it. This man deliberately convinced Barrow and refused and convince other people not to sign that well-documented memorandum of understanding that would have given Gambia a new start. What more do you want for the Gambia? What can you offer to the Gambian? Tell us, rather than your personal interest. But Gambian people are not sleeping. We give you the chance. We give you the foreign affairs. Tell us what have you achieved there, rather than making the foreign affairs a partisan affairs. Employing people that are so close to you. Tell us what have you achieved in the foreign service. We give you the vice president. What have you done? Tell us. The Kuntauru victims are still crying. Where is their money? Tell us. Tell us. What more can you offer to the Gambian people? Tell us, rather than just being on Facebook, because you have the platform, you have the time, you have the computer, and you are in the diaspora, and the internet is free for you, or it's cheap for you. We can do it. I can sit in the Gambia here 24/7, being on the internet, caricaturing, but that will not help us. That will not move this country forward. This is why I choose not to. But not that we cannot do it. We can do more than you people. And we are telling you it's enough. We are ready. So what more can you offer to us? Tell us. Khalifa has challenged you people in the press conference. Why did you force your leader to come to the National Assembly and say that Khalifa said PDO has the better policy to liberate this country. And if any political party leader disagree with us, let us meet at the National Assembly. So, Honorable, we are saying go to the National Assembly to convince go to the National TV and convince the whole people that you have better policy than PDOIS. That is the battle of the 21st century, the battle of knowledge, the battle of policies. Why can't you do that rather than sitting on your Facebook trying to discredit Khalifa? Khalifa has achieved what he has to achieve. If he dies today, he will be recognized forever. And he made it very clear that he have achieved what he wants. For the Gambian people to know that power belongs to them. And this is what they have been fighting for. If it stops here, they have achieved what they want. This is what he told them. What are we competing? We are not competing with you people. There is no competition between UDP and PDOIS. It's the Gambian people to decide. And we don't control the Gambian people. So what is the competition there? We only have programs that we can convince the people to vote for you. You have your program. Why are you fighting PDOIS? Where is the competition there? There's no competition there. Go and convince the Gambian people based on your programs and policies. And leave Khalifa Sallah and Sidi Ajada alone. These people, they never talk about your party leader, rather you people. Unbaselessly. They never. Even you come to Khalifa and said, Mkolenko, you come with somebody's story. You will receive the worst response in your life. He don't want to talk about anybody. If I was you people, I would say Khalifa has challenged UDP and all other political parties in his press conference that if anybody is convinced that they have better policy than PDOIS, he's challenging them to a national debate. But you cannot run from this debate. The mayoral election, we have a debate. The councillors election, we have a debate. Next presidential election is a debate. You either like it or not, you must face the Gambian people and convince us based on your programs and policies. Not what can I say? I don't know what word to use even. Victim cards. Yes, we suffered for 22 years. We are the most jailed political party. That is the tax. If you decide to join politics, be well assured that you will be ready to go to jail. You will be ready to torture. That is African politics for you. We are not saying that we support it. But that is the politics for you. We have gone jail, but you never hear Khalifa or Sidi Ajada standing on a political platform saying that, I have been jailed by Jammeh, we suffered, we did this, we did that. No. That is not for the Gambian people. That is for history to write. That is for history to write. Usman Silla was the first civilian to be jailed, 15 good months. If you don't know it, let me tell you. But you never hear Usman Silla say so. Usman Silla was the first on the 15th of September 1994. Usman Silla was jailed at Incommunicado in Makati for 15 good months. Have you ever heard of that? No. Because that's not our politics. Auntie Amisilla, with his 1-year baby, was jailed in prison. He do breastfeed his baby. Do we heard of that? Do you heard of that? Sorry, let me put the car lights on. It's getting dark. We don't do that. Because we believe in policies and program. I'm challenging you people. Go and tell your political leader that Khalifa has challenged all political leaders. If they believe that for the system change to achieve, let us debate on policies and program. And he have challenged all leaders that let them meet for a national debate and convince the Gambian people based on policies and program. And if you are ready for the challenge, force your leaders to come and face us. Let us debate about policies. That is the battle of the 21st century. So, on that note, I thank you people. This is what I want to put across, that things will never be the same. They are dishonesty, we know it. And we are ready to encounter whatever way, in any way they come in, we are ready to face them. If they go low, we will go low. That's not my politics. You all have been following me on Facebook. I never insult. I never caricature any leader. I have much respect for any leader. You see me associated with all political leaders. That's who I am. But sometimes you are pushed to the wall and you are not left with no option but to pay back. So this is why I am here. I'm not disrespecting anybody. You have been following me, you know me. I never disrespect anybody, and I will never disrespect anybody. So this is what I have for you people. Condition forced me to talk the way I am talking. This is not who I am. You all know it. But if people refuse to speak to their leaders for failing the Gambian people, we are left with no option but to set the record straight. But rather, want to shift the blame to somebody, knowing very well that their leader put us in this mess. But for them, it is okay. Whatever comes from their leader's mouth is okay. They came here when Dabo said that the National Assembly vehicles were given to the National Assembly member and the president has no obligation to say to anybody. And he was trying to compare that vehicles to the coalition vehicles. When actually Biden, Adama Barrow was not given the national budget. He was just a candidate for the coalition. Now he's given the national budget. And he said nobody should question it. They all supported it. They never said that is Dabo's personal opinion. But when Dabo said 5 years, they all supported. But when things change, now they are telling us it's Dabo's personal opinion. That is not part. If the Secretary General of a party speak and he said it's his personal opinion, then the party has a problem. That the party has a problem. The Secretary General. If he speaks and you say that is his personal opinion, then the party has a problem. That party has a problem. And you have to look into it. That political party has a problem. But you will keep quiet because by then it favors you. But now it doesn't favor you. Yes, it's Dabo's personal opinion. When did Dabo's words become his personal opinion? When? When he said that the tactical alliance, was it his personal opinion or he was talking on behalf of UDP? But all those things are okay. But since the 3 years didn't favor you people, you are saying, we the PDOS, we are not part of forcefully removing a democratic elected government. We are not part of it. It's left to Adama Barrow. It's a moral obligation for Adama Barrow to agree on the 3 years that we agree on. And he will be recorded in the books of somebody who is honest. But if he chooses not to, he's following the constitutional mandate. And we will not protest. We are not part of it. We are not a political party that will forcefully remove a democratic elected government. We will not. Sunto, I don't have time for you. You are the last person I will respond. Billah, I choose people who I will respond. Have you ever seen me responding to you? I don't have your time. You are the last person I will respond because your heart is full of hate for Khalifa. So you cannot offer me anything. You cannot educate me. So you are the last person that I will respond to because you are not educating me. I listen to people. I educate with people that will add value to me, that will educate me, but not that will develop hate in my heart. So I have less business with you. Talk till tomorrow. I never visited your Facebook account. You are always on my page. I have no time for you. Please. I don't have time for you. And the earlier you press that unblock button, the better for you. I have no time for you. Have you ever seen me on your wall? I don't have time for you. And the better you understand that, the good for you. So for you to understand, I don't have it. So this is what we can. This is what we stand for. This is our party. This is PDOIs for you. What have you done free market for PDOIs, Pata? You have just been dishonest to PDOIs. You have been seeing our policies. We have been showing out. Why don't you choose? When PDOIs mention their policies on how to eradicate poverty in this country, why don't you post that on your wall? Rather than you choose the ANC issue. What have you done for PDOIs rather than well-calculated dishonesty to PDOIs? So that is not me. And I heard that yesterday I read on Kerfatu. The National Assembly members were given a plot of land. When they said, Khalifa Sallah said he is not part of he didn't want to take the land because he have a land already. Khalifa never even talked about the issue. The issue was brought by Majanko Samusa in the National Assembly that the National Assembly members want a land. And other members supported it. We were silenced on the whole issue. They went and they take a plot of land at Yundum. PDOIs didn't take a single land. Not Usman Silla, not Sidia Jada, not Khalifa Sallah. None of us take a land from them. And Khalifa didn't talk to anybody about the whole issue. When they said, he said, he didn't even utter a word And they didn't see it in his face to either approach him to offer him a land. Likewise, Usman Silla. But I saw on a post when Honorable Sana Jaura was interviewed by Kerfatu, and he said that, yes, Halifa said, he have a land already. Halifa never, when I saw the article, I called Halifa. I brought it to his attention, and he said that it has been dishonest because he never spoke to anybody about the issue of land. This is what they do. If you want to take your bribes, go and collect your bribes. We are not interested. We are here to serve, not to be national assemblies that will be given privilege. We are not. This is why we distance ourselves from the vehicle, we distance ourselves from the brown envelopes, we distance ourselves from the lands that you are given. We are not part of it. And we will never be part of it. We are here to serve our people. And we will serve them. I see them there circulating it. We didn't take any piece of land from Barrow. We didn't. And let it be clear, I'm just waiting until they all receive their documents about the land. I'll come on Facebook to tell you which National Assembly accept it. I have most respect for Sanneh. He has been honest when it comes to the blind envelope issue, and he made it very clear. But it is not only Halifa. And his interview with Kerfad, he said it's only Halifa who didn't accept the land. That is wrong. And I spoke to Usman Silla. And I called Kerfado, I spoke to them, for them to engage Usman Silla, to hear his side of the story. He never received it. And all the PDOI's members. We are not National Assembly members who will be at the Assembly to be given privilege to dance to the tune of the President. That is not why we choose to go to the National Assembly. If you choose that way, so be. That is why your National Assembly members has been divided. Because you don't have principles. That's why others cross carpet to Barrow. Because that's not principle that binds you together. It's not the principle. And when principle didn't bind you together, you end up being divided. But for us, we are. Principle combine us together. That is why we are still together. For how many years, Halifa and Sidi Ajata? Samsar. For how many good years? No disagreement. Because what binds them together is truth, honesty, and love for country. This is what binds them together. But that's why you have your National Assembly members. Some are Barrow Youth Movement, some are UDP. Because it's not it's not principles that binds them together. No, I will disagree with you then. Kerfado is UDP. She's a very good sister and I've been engaging her. And when I heard of the news, she said, definitely Kexx, I will make sure that I spoke to Usman Silla to clarify the issue. He said, actually, it was Mustafa who they spoke to, and when he spoke to Sanneh, so it's not what Sanneh told him, is what he published. So I have to be fair to Kerfado. This is not her statement. This is not what he said. What Sanneh told him, that's what she published. And when I spoke to her, she picked my phone because I called her, and she didn't pick, but she have to return my call and said, Kexx, I saw your missed call. That shows you how concerned she is. And I talked to her and she told me that, Kexx, I saw your missed call, and I explained to him that I spoke to Usman Silla and I spoke to Halifa Sallah and I spoke to Sidia and these people. None of them have taken the land. But I saw a post on your wall, or a interview with Sanneh Jallow. He said, Only Halifa Sallah did not receive it, meaning that all other PDYS members received it. And I spoke to these people and they said they didn't receive it. So why can't you engage those people? And she made it very clear to me that she will definitely call Usman Silla to hear his side of the story. So she's been honest to me and I have much respect for her. She has been doing wonders so far, and I cannot definitely accuse her of being a UDP or bias. But what I can say that she has been doing her job, and I respect for her, and I encourage her to keep on whatever she is doing. Definitely, I appreciate whatever she's doing, and she promised me she will definitely do that. So, and I'm sure she will definitely call Usman Silla to engage him. I'm actually in Basse, but after I will call Usman to find out whether they have talked or whether they have contacted her. So definitely, I will give her credit for all the time giving me the opportunity, to use her platform. When I see issues, when I call her, she answers to me and take it as a concern and make sure that she raises it. The last time I sent an article to him, which was written by me and Suleiman about Sidia Jaza's contribution about the indemnity clause that we are facing right now. When Sidia Jata has questioned that in 1992, but they failed to listen to Sidia Jata. When Sidia Jata stood and said that the indemnity clause in our constitution, it will seize the rights of every citizen in this country, and we will all be answerable to one individual. They failed to support Sidia Jata based on that. And today that's why we are having this indemnity clause in our constitution, and it's haunting us. And when Sidia Jata raised it since 2002, we published it, and Cherry Fadu put it on her platform, and she didn't even hesitate to put it there. The moment I sent it to her, she do it. So I applauded her for whatever she is doing. So far, this is what I have for you people, and I will just leave you with the audio of Halifa Sallah still now anchoring his voice about the much needed system change. And if the Gambian people are ready for the system change, PDYS is the solution for you. And I will call all PDYS members, in respect of who we are, those who are claiming to be independent, or they said I'm a sympathizer but they are hiding, let you all come out. It is your constitutional right to support any political party. Let us stop the hide, because we are doing it for the future of our children, not us, because we don't want to inherit a government that we don't want to inherit a government. If we don't want to inherit a country that our children cannot be proud of. So all what we are going to do, we are doing it to liberate our children, to give a better country for our children. So this is a liberation for our children. This is a liberation for the future of our children. So let's stop the hide. Let us come out. If you are convinced of PDY's policy, stop the hiding. Come out publicly. It is your constitutional right to join any political party. Come out and show your 100% loyalty to the party that you believe that can liberate this country. If you don't have any political party that you have, irrespective of UDP, any other party, come out publicly. Stop the hide and be hiding behind independent. There is no independent. It is your constitutional right. Everybody has the right to be associated with a political party, right to be associated. It is a constitutional right. So why are you hiding? Let's stop the hiding and come out and support whatever political party you want, because we are doing this for our children, not for any other person. Because for us, we cannot achieve it. Our time has gone, but we want to save the future for our children. And if you fail to achieve this in the next election, we are done forever. Gambia will never be the way we want it. You have been seeing it. I am in Basse here. I went to a place. I saw it there. Chinese AIDS company. Now we rely on Chinese to give us AIDS when we have abundant mineral resources in this country. Go to Badokungu, Sanya and Karton for 54 years. What has been mined there is not reflected in our national budget. From Jawara to Jamme to Baro, none of them is telling us how much has been mined, our natural resources. How much has been mined there. But they rather choose to give few, just to receive few license fee to an individual and allow those people to take our abundant mineral resources and make billions out of it. And they give us chicken change and we are proud of it. That is not our policy. We said any company that is coming here must be 50%. You must be a share to the Gambian people. You must be a share to the Gambian people. You either take 60%, we take the 40%. And the 50% of your employees must be Gambian people. Not the signing a fishing agreement with the European Union and tell them that all your crews will be Europeans. And no Gambian will be there. For 54 years, we are saying that we don't have the vessel to tap our natural resources in our sea for 54 years of independence, when we can approve $28 billion of budget? Why can't we cut small chunk of it and have our own fishing vessel and catch the fish and land it in our country and sell it and have foreign exchange and bring it back and create employment of our people? We can move to manufacture them, make sardines and other things, and import them, employ our people. This is our policy. Tell us what you have better than this. Let's debate on that. We said Bado Kungu Karton. Mining is taking place there. There should be a loyalty to the people of Khartoum, because it's their land that you are abusing. It's their land that you are taking their resources. We say Sanyang should have a loyalty, that government should give it to them to develop their areas, because it's their farmlands, it's their furrows that you are using to mine their resources. That is our policy. We say there must be a loyalty to be paid to Sanyang people, Batokunku people, Khartoum people, so that they can develop their area. This is our policy. But not to give a license to individual, just to come and mine like Tony Katas, Mohamed Basi, to come and just mine all our resources and go and give us chicken change. And they make millions and they bring it back to our country. For 54 years. We import 200,000 metric tons of rice. When we have Jakali Pachar, we have Makati Island, we can grow year round and feed the whole nation. And when you bring that 2,000 metric tons of rice, you need $2 million to clear those ones, to bring them into the country so that it can be in the stores for Gambian people to buy it. If you can produce that rice, we are saving $2 million in our national coffers. And PDOS has a solution to it. We can do it. Which political party has a better policy than us? Let him come and tell us what way he can do that, rather than we import everything. Tell us, this is our policy. Exactly, Bakari. They don't have even a code of conduct, talk less of policies. Because I know a political party document is for it's a public document. So if you are telling us that we have a code of conduct, but it's not for public consumption, then that means that you doesn't have it. Because we can believe in what we see. So if you are not swearing to us, we don't believe in it. And I have never seen any UDP member that have sold that, and I challenge them to bring their code of conduct. But they don't have it. So I talk less of talking about a policy and a program. This is our liberty. We said the women in the furrows, give them the seed, the fertilizer, and give them the credit. The tomato that they are cultivating in their farm, they should not just come to the market with their small quantity of tomato, sit in the market from 5 a.m. in the morning up to 12 o'clock to make sure that small quantity in their basket or whatever, or on their plate, to be sold so that they can go and cook for their family. We say PDOIS government, we will make sure that we have an institution that will buy from those people. Immediately they come to the market, we will buy everything from them and store it and create a storage. And give somebody, we create a retail people that will be, we give them those people to sell it for those people. So you just come, you put your tomato, whatever quality you have. We buy it from you and store it and create another avenue whereby we will create people that will be retailers. They will be selling it. If it is necessary to export it outside the country, we do that. So those women will not come to the market. Since 5 a.m., babies on their backs, sitting in the hot sun from 5 a.m. in the morning up to 1 o'clock just to wait for that small quantity of their product to be sold so that they can go and cook for their families. PDOIS will not do that. We will buy from them, or we go to their farms. We will create a cooperative bank. We will go up to their farms and buy from them. They don't even need to come to the market with those qualities. Government will create the avenue for us to go to their farms and buy it from them and create the storage. If it is necessary to export them, we export them outside the country. We do that, and we have foreign exchange coming back to our country, and we create employment. This is our policy. Since 1979, this country is encountering with electricity problem. Since 1979, the electricity problem is not today. Since 1979, we are battling with electricity problem, up to date. And we claim that we are independent. But we can collect $28 billion from the taxpayers, the citizens, and give them a debt burden of $59 billion. And they will create government institutions like Gamcell and the other institutions, Nevega and the other people. And they will fail a company that should be a profit-making institution to pay dividend to government, will fail to the end of the collapsing. And you'll say that taxpayers should, Nevega is collapsing and we have to, we want to privatize it. But before privatizing it, we have to make it viable. And you have to take the taxpayers' money to make Nevega viable, and then you privatize it. This is your policies for 54 years, from Jawara to Jammeh to Barrow. What is the difference? We said no. There are other avenues. And we made it very clear. Khalifa went to Norway and see how they generate electricity. And he came here. He want to say it to the government. 4 occasions I have been going with Khalifa to the Ministry of Works. They give us deaf ear. And we said Khalifa didn't want to help Barrow. Khalifa didn't want to work with Barrow. He moved from there. He went and see Yankuba Koli about the drainage system of this country and the waste management. And he shared the knowledge that he gained from Norway. But your minister failed to see Khalifa, to share the knowledge with them. The same thing happens to Nawek. We were ready. We have seen Gambians who are ready to help us with generator, to substitute for us until we will come with another solution. But you decided to go to Senegal and purchase a power there. And how much are we paying to Senegal? But you take a loan and buy new generators and put them aside from the taxpayers' money and decided to go to Senegal and purchase generator. You went to Car Power and bring that Car Power electricity inside our sea. Do you know how many environmental disasters that is causing our sea? It's having fuel and it's stationed inside a sea, throwing all its waste products back to the sea. Our fish are migrating now. But you are comfortable with, since you are having what you want. You don't care about the future of this country. Our fish are migrating because according to studies, we are doing overfishing. Chinese are fishing, Senegalese are fishing, AU is fishing, our Gambians are fishing. We are doing overfishing and our fish are migrating. This is the facts about our country. And we have a solution to it. What is your solution? That is the challenge. Come out and tell us. Am I talking to you, Sundu? You are the one who chose to come here. I didn't force you to come and listen to me. If I'm boring, then why are you here? Why should you be here? Am I boring? Then why are you here? Look at self. You are contradicting yourself. Kexx is boring, but you have your time and your internet to come and listen to Kexx. You see how dishonest you people are. But come on, that's a free lecture for you. I will educate you. Take it. No problem. Take it. Yeah, that's who you people are. You are just being dishonest, so you don't even accept things. So this is it. So this is all what I have for you. I will not take much of your time. I think I've taken much of your time, almost 1 hour, 18 minutes. And I thank you for your time. And I will be coming time to time, for a real system change in this country. You either accept it or go. Did I demand for a water? You are the one who is saying drink a water, but I'm not demanding for it. So I don't know. Maybe you feel for me. Thank you. So this is all what I have for you. And I thank you all for your time. It's your brother Kexx Sanneh. If I say anything that is offensive, that's not me, situation might push me, but this is the same Kexx that you have known, a brother, who have appreciate all of you, for being a family to me on Facebook. You treat me as a brother, you treat me as a family, and I have maximum respect for you people, and I can't pay you people back. You give me the courage to come and sit here and seeing 282 people listening to me. It's not because of my age, very young when it's come to age, and when it's knowledge, I don't have any knowledge, but because of the trust and the confidence you people have in me, you take your time to come and listen to me, and I have nothing to say but to thank you people. I have nothing to pay you people. I'm deeply honored and humbled by the love and the appreciation you people have shown me, the Gambian people. I can pay you people, but I pray that we have a better Gambia that we can all be proud of. And I thank you people, for being there for me. And I pray that may God give us the long life, the prosperity to see a better Gambia that we can be proud of and our children can be proud of. And on that note, I thank each and everybody, for taking your time to listen, for listening to me, Kexx of Nobody. I'm so humble, and I'm just out of word, and if I carry on, I might cry because of emotion. But I thank you people for the love, and may God the Almighty bless you abundantly. I appreciate you people, and if I may say anything that is offensive, I'm asking for your forgiveness. I'm just a human who is bound to make a mistake. But if I make any positive impact in your life, that's God's gift. That is not from me. And I thank you all for your kind attention.
December 2016. Now Gambia is in your hands. Whatever you want of it is in your hands. Whatever it becomes is in your hands. That's what we told the country. So essentially, we had Congress resolutions. And I'll be concluding in that regard. That we, as a Congress, see the essence of sovereignty, and that cooperative sovereignty that is essential to build a new Gambia. We therefore resolve that the new start that Gambia is waiting for is the sovereignty of each Gambian being asserted and accepted. A new Gambian must be born. The transition should have created the new Gambian, but the transition is divided.
You see, the transition should have created a new Gambia, but they achieve in dividing the transition.
Some want to maintain the old Gambia, some would want a new Gambia, and the Gambian people must decide. Do you want a new Gambia, or do you want to remain in the old Gambia?
That is the question for the whole Gambian people. Do you want the new Gambia, or you want to stay in the old Gambia? That is the question we all have to answer, and it's thrown back to all of us. We either decide, against poverty, or we decide prosperity, or still remain in poverty. The choice is us.
If you want a new Gambia, then you must become a new Gambian. That is why the slogan of our Congress, a new Gambian for a new Gambia. System change is inconceivable without a new Gambian. So anybody who tells you that these political parties that came together are the ones who prevented system change from coming would be a misconception, would be a misstatement. The political parties that came together could only achieve regime change. And the regime change, the quality of regime change is not removing just one government and replace with another government. It is freeing the people so that now they know that the ballot box can decide the fate of the country. That is the achievement of that regime change. But to move further into system change, then we must have a new Gambian. That is why our Congress resolution states very clearly that the fundamental task of DOI now is to work with anyone to help bring that new Gambian into being.
You hear, we are ready to work with anyone. That shows you how unselfless we are. We didn't say that PDY. We are ready to work with anyone to achieve a system change. Meaning that still now we are ready even to sacrifice PDYS if there will be any coalition just to achieve the system change.
Number one of our resolution. We also accept that that new Gambian is a sovereign Gambian. And together, the sovereignty will be combined to build a new Gambia. So we believe in cooperative sovereignty. Conscious Gambians, irrespective of language, irrespective of ethno-linguistic origin, irrespective of gender, irrespective of religion, irrespective of where they came from as far as this country is concerned, will now accept that they are citizens of the Gambia, and as citizens, they are the majority. As citizens, no one is a minority. It is equal in sovereignty. That is the new Gambian, who our Congress is out to strengthen and help to build. And then cooperative sovereignty will be asserted. It is our view that it is through that cooperative sovereignty that the nation will be liberated, because the nation will now be a nation where all the natural resources, terrestrial or mineral resources, will now belong to the corporate sovereign Gambians.
Exactly what I was telling you. All the natural resources will belong to the citizens. That is our policy, not to give to one individual, just to give us a lancing fee and mind our fees. Exactly what Halifa is telling you.
And that is what we call socialism.
Socialism.
It has been distorted.
It has been distorted
from all angles. And now we are ready to defend it, to know that without that type of policy orientation, you cannot have any system change. The natural resources, whether terrestrial or marine, be they mineral, be they oil, be they fisheries, all belong, the land all belong to our sovereign people. And we will not allow those resources to be alienated from them.
Exactly.
And that is why the resolution will be very evident to every Gambian. And we analyze, and I am analyzing for you now as I move towards the conclusion, that what has happened to Gambia is relying entirely on taxation and not bring what we call sovereign national wealth into fruition. The First Republic, by 1985, collapsed. Revenue was no longer sufficient to pay for expenditure. Therefore, deficit after deficit, and it was borrowing to maintain the deficit. And it increased to over 2,000 million, 2 billion debt. In terms of export imports also, the imports could not be paid for by exports. The gap was increasing.
Increasing. Debt.
And that is why they introduced the Economic Recovery Program, destroyed the PWD, sold the public enterprises, even the banks, like Gambia Commercial and Development Bank, was given to Meridian Bank. And all the institutions that should generate sovereign national wealth were disappearing. That's when DOI came into being in 1986. The government that existed in the past 22 years is a similar situation. The debt was increasing because revenue could not pay for expenditure. Export could not pay for import. In 2015, the trade deficit was 12 billion.
Allahu Akbar.
This new government that had come into being, you've heard it. 56 billion debt on its head. Just recently, 2019 budget, over 25 billion budget. But it's not enough to pay for the 28 billion expenditure. So 3.4 billion must be borrowed somewhere to even meet the expenditure. And 13.5 billion must be something that comes from budget support. About 11.8 billion is what it can raise locally.
Locally, yeah.
And only 1 billion will come from non-tax. All the rest, taxation.
On the people.
And you have to pay 2.7 billion as debts interest on debts.
That's interest. $2.7 billion, that's what Gambian people will pay for debt interest. The debt that we are collecting, the interest will be, not talking of the debt itself, but the interest charge, $2.7 billion this year.
How are you going to pay it when you can only raise from non-tax 1 billion? It's from taxation. Is that sustainable? No. In trade, the deficit is 24 billion. Exporting domestically 630 million. Re-export about 400 and something million. Whilst you are importing over 25 billion. So the same disease which existed in the First Republic, Second Republic, is continuing in the Third Republic. How do you alter it? The resolution affirms that we must build sovereign national wealth. Rather than a company being given the whole responsibility of mining Batokunku, Sanyang and Katong, where minerals were being mined over the years without any form of information coming to the public and any use to the population. Now, the existing government, after being quiet for many, many months, going to years, has told us that that enterprise has been given to a company. And you do not have any national institution that is established to partner maybe 50-50 with that particular company.
They are not
interested. They will just be
interested.
paying licenses, probably.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Is that what is going to create sovereign national wealth? We have fisheries agreement. They will just come and then, yes, they will be paying you annually. And you say what you have there, you are now going to use to go into small scale, medium scale production. This is what your country, not only Gambia, but your countries on the continent are becoming. They will take the lion's share, then give you the crumbs, and then you will go small scale, medium sized enterprises, here are the crumbs, and then now you can grow and develop. How much employment are you going to generate from that? So essentially, this is the situation that you must bear in mind. That this is the situation that Doyle fought in the First Republic, Second Republic, and currently in the transition. Guiding the nation to understand that our resources.
You hear the word, guiding the nation to understand that our resources. Let's continue.
Terrestrial, mineral belongs to us. Therefore, our people must have all they could in building up the productive base to be able to earn their keep from those resources. In the process of achieving that, then governments must become very strategic in inviting foreign investments. If it is mining, you must have a national mining company where you'll have 50-50 shares.
Exactly. National mining company, not to give the license to one individual, just to give the government a license fee and just take our resources away. But we must create a national mining company, underline the word national.
If it is the ocean, we must not allow any vessel to come and fish on our waters without 50% of the crew being Gambians. We must ensure that they land 50% of their catch on Gambian soil, They must assist in the processing. And ultimately, we must have the trawlers that is necessary to be able to continue to fish. If it is a nation like multinational group like the EU, the agreement must ensure that 50% crew, 50% that must be land, 50% where eventually you must also assure that at the end of the process, you will have this number of trawlers in our waters. Because the idea of our agreement is the EU is to be able to eradicate poverty and integrate our country into the world economy. So in short, we're emphasizing that as DOI, we will not allow a company to come like a Kafuta, take over that land, employ our women to work, and then pay them pittance, and then what they harvest, they go and make huge profit from that. No, DOI will not allow that. Instead, DOI will turn that into a cooperative for the women, have a cooperative bank that will provide the seeds, the fertilizer and farming implement so that they will produce, and what they produce will be sold and go back to them. That's what DOI is calling for. That's socialism. It's the cooperative society, the cooperative economy. Will ensure that in all domains, the family farms, they have farmland, they cannot cultivate it because of lack of input. Cooperative banks will provide the input. Many people who want to engage in marketing, cooperative bank will provide them with the capital to engage in marketing, linked to the productive base, so that they will also engage in processing. If it is small-scale processing. This is how you can eradicate poverty. Not in any other way. If any other person has a means of doing so, let them tell us. That is the battle now. Let people come and tell us how they intend to eradicate our poverty. And we, the people, will decide.
That is the challenge. Let the other people come and challenge us how they want to eradicate poverty in this country. And let's debate on that, and the Gambian people will decide. So I will stop the video here for now. I have other engagements to do, but I will continue to play you the whole video. It's 40 minutes video. So far you listened in 15 minutes video of it. But I will play the whole video for you maybe on Saturday, and you will hear the whole video. And thank you guys for your time, and good night from me. Bye.